Hello everyone, it is Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Thank you for joining me in my little corner of the internet where I talk all things planners, fountain pens, and fountain pen inks. Today I'm doing an ink inventory of all of my Ferris wheel press inks that I own. So currently I have 9 bottles and 2 samples, and I want to share them with you all. Let's get started. So I'll be swatching in my Hobonichi A5 notebook with 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. I will be swatching with my Kakimori stainless steel nib on my River City Penco nib holder. And I'll also be swatching with my Browse ornament nib, and this is on the Browse nib holder. And yeah, that's it. One thing I will mention here right off the bat is that Ferris Wheel Press, when it comes to their inks, they like to do limited editions. So many of these inks may not be available, and I'm apologizing for that right off the bat here. All right, so let's get started. The first ink I'll be doing is Aurora Yalis, and I purchased this basically sight unseen from my local stationery shop. Stylus. I had to remember what their name was. So I'm just agitating it. And one thing I do have to say about Ferris Wheel Press is that they really do the packaging well in terms of the bottles. For aesthetic purposes, they do them well, but for functionality, they're not that great. It's really difficult to try and put a pen into that opening to be able to fill your pen. So doing a little bit here on my Browse ornament nib. And I love this purple with the beautiful pink shimmer. One of my favorite inks ever. And I didn't think I would like purple inks too much, but this one is a stunner. Now you can't see it too much because it's still quite wet, but when it dries, it's really lovely. And I do have to say that in terms of just the overall shimmer in this, it actually does shimmer really well. It's quite consistent, and I do have to give that to Ferris Wheel Press. Their shimmer inks are quite lovely. So Ferris Wheel Press Aurora Yalis. And let's do some figure eights here. And my lovely line widths. I really love the base color of this, and then they add that pinky shimmer. Stunning. So that is Ferris Wheel Press Aurora Yalis. The next ink is Cabernet on the Lake, and I first tried this in a charger set, and then I saw somebody selling this, I think in Simone's Discord, and I had to have it because just look at that beautiful red color, which for me, I don't normally do reds, but I love the shimmer in this, and the wine color is just gorgeous. And yeah, it's a very lovely holiday color as well. I really should ink this up for December. So we have Ferris Wheel Press, and this one is Cabernet on the Lake. Beautiful. Look at the way that that's drying. Really lovely. Oh, let me grab some of that here. Again, just the way the line widths show off the ink and the shading and the shimmer. Gorgeous. Cabernet on the Lake. The next ink is Edwards Gardens, and I think I won this in a Ferris Wheel Press giveaway a couple of years ago, and they asked me which ink to choose, and I chose this one. And I know a lot of people are wondering if, oh, I got ink on myself, if this is very similar to Emerald or Emerald de Chavois of Jacques Herbin. It is kind of similar, but unfortunately I don't have any of Emerald of Chivor, Emerald de Chivor, to be able to test it. But I feel like Emerald of Chivor is a little bit more green leaning than Edwards Gardens. It does have this beautiful dark teal base with, whoops, I almost dipped the wrong end in. Come on. With a lovely red shimmer and a bit of green, or like a gold shimmer and a bit of red sheen. So it's very similar, but very pretty. So this one is Edwards Gardens. Lovely. You can see, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but there is some red sheen happening here. A really lovely, I think, holiday color too. But I feel like it goes down a little bit more blue and then dries a little bit more green. So that is Ferris Wheel Press, Edwards Gardens. The next ink is not a shimmer ink. It is Goose Poopon. And I think it kind of plays on the words that it kind of does look like goose poop, or what Grace of Wildly Imaginable calls that particular shade of green. It's the baby poop. But it's that swampy green that so many of us love. And I don't know what it is, but it's a fun color in an ink. Probably not as fun to see this in, like, you know, day-to-day life, but lovely as an ink color to write with in your journal. I just find that funny. Goose Poopon. If you're at all familiar with Canadian geese, they are scary, not ones to be messed with. And I feel like this is a very accurate goose poop color. Sorry to gross you out. Goose Poopon. Or like that commercial from the 90s. Do you have any gray poupon? Does anybody remember that? Maybe I just aged myself here. But it's such a lovely kind of olivey green color. Ferris Wheel Press, Goose Poopon. The next ink is Ferris Wheel Press, Oyster Hour. This was an ink that I tried again in a charger set. And once I finished it, I was like, no, I don't need it. It's fine. It's too light. I can't, no. So then I saw somebody selling this in Simona's Discord. And I was like, well, I can't pass that up. And when I'm purchasing something like this, it's normally because I've been thinking about it for a while and I couldn't get it out of my head. So yeah. Was it a spontaneous purchase? I did think about it for a little bit, but I love this color, this kind of light beigey brown. And in the right nib, it is quite legible. And I mean, I use fine and extra fine nibs, and it still works really well for me. Lovely. And I love how this shades too. Whoops, let's add a little bit more to the nib there. Just look at that beautiful color. Stunning. So that is Ferris Wheel Press, Oyster Hour. This next ink I purchased actually at my local stationery fountain pen store, Stylus, because I couldn't find this anywhere else online. Funny enough, it was in my local store. This is Peter Moss. And I was going to order it from the Ferris Wheel Press website, but unfortunately, their shipping prices are really expensive, even within Canada. So I was very happy to have found this in my local fountain pen shop. Because look at this gorgeous green, a lovely fall color, but also just one of those greens that I feel like is really calming. And when I say calming, it's not, an in-your-face green or anything like that. It's one of those lovely fall, cozy day in your sweater, in your cardigan type of green. This is Peter Moss. Lovely. And this ink behaves really well. I know some people have found that some of the Ferris wheel press inks could be quite dry, but there are some that, like this one, beautiful and work really well even in an extra fine or a fine nib. So that is Peter Moss. This next ink is coming in this cute little bottle. It's part of the Fairy Tale series from Ferris Wheel Press. It is Queen and Castle, and I'm just going to show you this box because it's really, really cute. And what I like about this box is that it talks about the tale of the Queen and Castle, but then on the side it also shows the base color, yellow green with no sheen, rose gold shimmer, and high shading. And one thing I do have to say is that while this bottle is really cute, it's so impractical for filling your pens. You basically need a syringe to be able to fill that. But here I go swatching this with my Browse ornament nib, and just look at this gorgeous color. It's got a similar base to Goose Poopon, but then when you add that rose gold shimmer, there's just something about it for me that is just so appealing and so pleasing. But again, this bottle, I'm always afraid I'm going to knock it over, and it's one of those where it's not the most practical of design. It's only made purely for aesthetics. So this is Ferris Wheel Press, Queen, and Castle. And unfortunately, this one I don't think is available anymore, similar to many of the ones on this list, but just look at how stunning this ink is when I'm swatching it like this. Gorgeous. So Ferris Wheel Press, Queen, and Castle. This next ink is Stroke of Midnight, and I also received this from a friend. Now, I didn't think that this would be an ink that I actually like. Blue inks I can be a little bit picky with as well, especially blue black. I don't normally like blue black inks, but when you combine it with this silvery blue shimmer, it's just a stunner of an ink. Look at the way that it goes down. And with the shimmer inks that I've tried from Ferris Wheel Press, I actually haven't had too many issues in my fine or extra fine nibs. I feel like the shimmer particles work well with the feeds of most of my pens. So I haven't had actually too much difficulty or too many hard starts when using these shimmer inks. And here we go, Ferris Wheel Press, Stroke of Midnight. I love the way that it looks like a starry night. And what I'm actually hoping to do in the next couple of weeks here is do another INK-VENTORY type of video, but all of the shimmer inks I own. I don't actually know how many shimmer inks I own, but there's a few. But look at how beautifully this ink goes down. It's a lovely winter ink. Gorgeous. I love the blue of this, which I don't normally like, and then you've got the silver shimmer. Really, really stunning ink. Like, just look at that. So we've got Ferris Wheel Press, Stroke of Midnight. This next ink is Ferris Wheel Press, Writing Desk, and this is a Wonder Pens exclusive. Now, I've only ever been to Wonder Pens twice, and that was back in 2022 with Corolla, the first time I actually met Corolla, and I didn't purchase this ink when I was there. I know, why didn't I purchase this ink when I was there? I ended up purchasing this ink when I ended up purchasing one of my newest, I say one of my newest, but one of those TWSBIs from the Breakfast Collection. But that's because I didn't like brown when I first visited Wonder Pens. But now look at this creamy, chocolatey, rich brown, beautiful color. And there's a little bit of sheen as well when it dries. And the amount of sheen that's in this ink doesn't actually bother me too much. But let's go ahead and write with it as well. It's a beautiful writer. And it's one of those brown inks that has basically a weird color, I say, distribution, because when you wet the nib, or when you put it in water and rinse it out, it's got that green highlighter to it as well. So this is Ferris wheel press writing desk, and I thought I didn't spell that right. But what I like about this brown is that it actually looks brown when you write with it. It doesn't look like a black. Oh, let me just add some more ink here. So look at the beautiful line widths. Such a stunning ink. Yes, it's a brown. I love my browns. Ferris wheel press writing desk. And this next ink is from, well, the last two inks are from samples that I have here, and I'm going to share these as well. This is Ferris wheel press Workshop Wishes, and I'm sharing these because these are probably inks that I won't ever be able to buy again, because Ferris wheel press do this thing where most of the inks that they release are limited editions. Whoops. So what I like about this one, and what I will probably end up doing and keeping with this one, is this beautiful golden caramel color with a lovely silver shimmer. Just look at the way that that goes down. Stunning. I was gonna say it kind of looks similar to Oyster Hour, but it doesn't. It's got a more yellowy caramelly base to it, and then that silver shimmer as well. And this was one that a pen friend sent me, and I know that I won't be able to buy a bottle of this, so I'm going to savor every drop of this sample. So we have Ferris wheel press Workshop Wishes. Another lovely ink. Get to do my figure eights here. And with the shimmer inks from Ferris wheel press, like I said before, I haven't had issues, like too many issues with these, and that's why I love them. I don't need any more shimmer inks, but I love it. Workshop Wishes. And last but not least, we have Ferris wheel press Lady Rose in Gold. This was actually a bottle given to me by someone local, and this is all I have left of it, because I shared that bottle with many friends, and now this is all that I have left. It's probably one of the first bottles that I actually emptied out into a sample vial, but look at this gorgeous dusty pink, and then it has this kind of coppery shimmer to it. Gorgeous. You know why. You know exactly why I like this ink. It's, again, that dusty pink that I love. This is actually currently inked in my Radius Settimo Marmo Bianco, and I'm using it for my 5-year journal. So we got Ferris wheel press Lady Rose in Gold, and there is actually an ink called Lady Rose, and that's the ink without the shimmer, but I find that ink is actually too light, and I feel like the shimmer adds to its legibility, and I prefer it with the shimmer. I know some people prefer just the Lady Rose, but I love the Lady Rose in Gold because, I mean, just look at this. How stunning is that ink? Lady Rose in Gold. So there are all of my Ferris wheel press inks. I'm pretty happy with the collection that I have. I don't think I really need to add any more to my collection, but I mean, famous last words. But let's just look at how pretty these are. Ferris wheel press Aurora Yalis. Like, look at that beautiful purple with that shimmer. Cabernet on the lake. Again, stunning. Edwards Gardens. Not one that I would normally go for, but it is still a very pretty ink. Goose Poopon. I mean, the name doesn't just show how pretty it is. Oyster Hour, I really love that kind of beigey brown. Peter Moss, again, one like a really classic green. Queen and Castle. I mean, it didn't, oh gosh, I wish that shimmer showed a little bit more, but it's a stunning ink. Stroke of Midnight, a really lovely ink for winter. It really does show off. It feels like it shows off the Starry Night. And then you've got Writing Desk from Wonder Pens. Workshop Wishes is a really pretty one. And then Lady Rose in Gold. Beautiful inks, and I'm so glad that I have been able to purchase some of these that unfortunately are no longer available. But I don't know, I'm not a fan of when particular, I guess, makers or companies do everything as limited editions. I mean, there's certain ones that I wish they would just have, you know, regular runs of, because fans love them, people love them. And I mean, I guess this is a bit of a commentary, but you know, if there's that kind of scarcity or that FOMO culture, I don't like that. I don't like that. We should all be able to have these. That's my soapbox. Thank you very much. All right, but that is it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. My next little INK-VENTORY video will be showing off all the shimmer inks that I own. I don't know how many that is. We will see. All right, thank you all so much for watching, and have yourselves a great day.